जय श्री राधे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते कृष्ण बलराम स्वामी नाम श्रील प्रभुपाद शिष्येषु केवलम व्रजवासिनं वाडभावं सावधं संहं संवन्तान्तकं नमः. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, shloka number 9. We are recording from Sri Vrindavan Dham, temperature is 7 degrees centigrade. The shloka goes like this. पुण्यो गन्धः पृथ्व्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसु जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु. Translation. I am the original smell of the earth, the heat in fire, the lifespan in all living entities, and the penance of all ascetics. Purport. The original or uncontaminated flavor of the earth from which many nice fragrant flowers come is Lord Krishna. He is the original taste of all liquids and the light, heat, and burning power in fire. In the Vedic scriptures, there are three categories of fire: Davagni or ordinary fire, Jatragni or the fire of digestion in the stomach, and Vadavagni or the fire in the ocean. Ordinary fire is necessary for daily existence, such as for cooking. Fire in the stomach digests food and keeps one energetic and healthy. Fire in the ocean provides hot streams such as Gulf Stream or climate control and for the health of aquatics. This is all due to God, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is also present in the air in the form of its touch sensation. He is the essence of the duration of life of all beings, which is the longevity of all. In this way, Lord Krishna is interwoven in all beings and in everything. Whatever austerities mendicants perform, or whatever hunger and thirst they tolerate while in austerity, are also due to Lord Krishna alone, because He is the power of forbearance in them when they go through voluntary inconvenience. All the mendicants perform their austerities to please Lord Krishna only. So wonderful. Krishna is making such a statement which no other personality in history has actually claimed like that. Not the five-headed Shiva, nor the four-headed Brahma, nor any personality who have propagated other religions have actually claimed that their God has told like that. So Krishna is telling the smell of earth when it rains after a long summer, the first shower of rain that comes and touches the mud. The smell is so pleasant, it is so aromatic. It's unique smell which you cannot get actually. People thrive. When will that day come? When that smell will come? And when can we smell such fragrance? And obviously, this is directly from the earth, and the manifestation of this is in the flowers. Different flowers are taking their energy and the ability to bring out a fragrance because they are taking the required elements from the chemicals or the elements from the earth that is below. So Krishna is telling that is me, it's my energy. Krishna is the energetic, but he's talking about his energy. Then the heat in fire. So very wonderfully 3 points are explained here. Especially the most wonderful thing is in the ocean, because ocean is so gigantic, and in such gigantic ocean still heat is there. So where is that heat coming from? So and that heat is explained as Swamiji has explained in this purport as Vadavagni, fire in the ocean, because of which currents are there, because of which waves are formed, and then the wind blows, we have land breeze, we have sea breeze. So all this pressure difference in the water and above the water, all this, can any one human scientist claim that he has ability to do this? No, he cannot. But here Krishna, who is the supreme scientist, he is claiming because he has created. And coming to the last part regarding austerities. So as I'm speaking here, I'm stammering actually because it's so cold, it's shivering cold. And so that's what is mentioned here, voluntary inconvenience. So mendicants and saints, they go through voluntary inconvenience. But what are they going under? Why are they under? Sorry. So why are they undergoing inconvenience? Is because they want to please Krishna. There's other way around also. There are some mendicants who actually are taking to voluntary inconvenience for their own selfish motives. They may get the siddhi to walk on water, and then they come back after practicing and achieving perfection in that siddhi. But what is the use? What help can they do with their siddhi of walking on water? They can only attract a bunch of 100,000 people who will just come and watch, and they will become his followers. But what tangible benefit, what real benefit has he given to them? Can he take them across that river by carrying them? No. And if they want to go across the river without getting wet, the easy option is, like our previous Acharya have given example, 2 paisa knowledge it is called. So simply by paying a boatman 2 paisa in olden days, they used to cross from one side of the river bank to the other side. So what is the use of that particular personality, that mendicant who has learned this siddhi and came back to the material world to show off to the people, and foolish and innocent people get lured by him? So it's so dangerous. So you have to do austerity for Krishna. Like I am here, I am not accustomed to this climate, but I'm taking it as a tapasya to have association of a sadhu, a real sadhu. So please read this book by Swamiji, and you also can take advantage. Jai Shri Ram.